Okay, so the other day, the Sony State of Play occurred, and I haven't had a chance to talk about that yet, but whenever I got to see the different announcements, I came to a shocking realization. 2D platforming style games are totally back. It is kind of wild that in the year 2026, which is 30 years after 1996, when we really started getting 3D platforming games like Super Mario 64, Crash Bandicoot, Tomb Raider, and so on, Nights in the Dreams, like we were getting all of these 3D platforming games. And this year, we're getting a huge deluge of 2D, which is really interesting. To kind of start things off, of course, we have the Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition, which technically would be the 31st because I think the first Rayman came out in 1995 on the PS1 and the Atari Jaguar, I think is what it came out on originally. But nonetheless, I guess it's still technically within that 30th year, I suppose. But we've got that, of course, from Ubisoft. We'll go ahead and play a little bit of the trailer here. So you can see it's the classic Rayman game, obviously. The classic graphics. 5 different versions that are playable. You got the PS1, Atari Jaguar, the MS-DOS, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. That's pretty interesting. They got all those different ones. They've got additional levels. All good stuff. A very solid collection. They even got this prototype, which was originally designed for the Super Nintendo way back in the day. So, pretty much a standard, but very good collection of classic Rayman games. And then we recently had this one totally, I did not get a chance to see, but this one's called Memories in Orbit, which is like a Metroidvania style game. This one actually looks really cool. So I want to show you guys. This one's brought out by Focus Home, kind of like a AA publisher. It's got a very good cel-shaded style visuals. Not like a 100% 2D game, because it does have these cinematic camera angles and things like that. It's a fully 3D environment, but you'll see how the gameplay actually looks once they start showing that off. I've heard a lot of good things about this game too. Like, I might have to check this one out. Got a very interesting art style.
But we could not keep our word.
Totally dig the music that they have in this trailer. If the in-game music's like that, I'm definitely on board here.
And now they are gone.
Huge monsters, boss fights,
Soon.
really interesting environments. Yeah, one looks really good. Really good for sure. And then actually just yesterday, the people that made the My Little Nightmares games or whatever, they're Little Nightmares games, they just dropped Reanimal, which I heard is really good. It's a co-op game. It's not really it's not like a totally 2D game, but it has a lot of 2D stuff. As we're going to play off this trailer here, I'm going to show you guys this trailer. And this one looks phenomenal as well. Now, for understanding, you have to do 2 players, so it's kind of like It Takes Two or whatever, that kind of gameplay style. But it does have... Oh, it says you can do solo. Okay, that's cool. So I wonder if they have an AI partner, because everything I've seen has always shown 2 characters, so I'm assuming they're probably AI controlled if you're playing by yourself. But that's good. That's good that you have that as an option, of course. But, they're definitely taking that inspiration from the Little Nightmares games, but they're giving you that co-op aspect at the same time. You got to probably work together to get past different challenges, get past different puzzles. You got to both be stealthy to avoid getting caught by these grotesque enemies. Absolutely very cinematic. But you can see, even though there is some 3D aspects, there is a lot of focus on the 2D at the same time. Like, 2D offers like a different type of look, a different type of experience that you don't get with a 3D game, especially if you're wanting kind of a little more cinematic thing. Now, this one also came out just the other day. I promised myself that I was going to buy it after I played the demo, which I did a video if you want to check that out up on the card up there. But this is Relooted. This is a stealth platforming adventure type game, and it's all in 2D, just like, you know, pretty much either games we're just demonstrating here. So this one's actually brought out by a studio from Africa, so that's not something you hear about very often. And I was pretty impressed with the demo, honestly, just based on the gameplay itself, although at the same time, I was kind of concerned that it might wear thin on the full version of the game. I've heard it's got decent reviews from the people that actually played it, not the grifters that bitched about it, you know, which they're always going to say what they're going to say, even though they don't actually play video games at all. But it's got very good production values, very good fast pace to it, and totally is a type of game that I guess if you're kind of like a speed runner, always trying to get the best times and stuff like that, you'll probably get a real enjoyment out of this one as well. But that wasn't the only other game that came out recently. Sony really dropped a huge bombshell at the State of Play. They shadow dropped this here. So everybody, of course, knows one of Sony's most famous franchises of all time is God of War. And they did this announced trailer, and you can play this game right now on your PlayStation 5. You know, you can go right on the store and check this out. But this one is also brought to us by Mega Cat Studios. This has to be the biggest project they've ever worked on, which is really cool. I've got a chance to check out a couple of their games through review keys.
I was a Spartan.
So this is supposed to be like an origin story for Kratos before he became the god of war that we all know and love today.
Our duty is to Sparta.
It's got a really good art style. I really appreciate the fluidity and the animation. Combat looks great. Kind of a little bit of a 2D Souls-esque shindig. It is interesting that it got a rated T for teen, even though there was some blood noticeable. I guess maybe it didn't have enough blood to classify as an M. I don't know. There is a lot of hits that aren't showing blood as well. But I think that would make it the first T for teen God of War game, because they're usually very gory. This trailer is very well executed, and we've got the classic voice actor, of course. Yeah. They, of course, announced that they're doing a remake of the original trilogy as well, which I'm sure that's what people are really excited about, although they didn't show anything. It's just one of those teaser kind of things. But this is ready to play right now on the PS5. I'll consider it if it hits Steam, because it does look pretty nice, for sure. And we've got several others that are coming. There's a couple that were announced several months back, of course, which I will refresh your memory on. Like here, Bloodstained, the Scarlet Engagement. This is the sequel to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. And this one absolutely looks phenomenal, guys.
The castle.
I was a huge fan of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Really good Metroidvania style action game.
Sacrifices must be stopped. We will track the ethereal castle. Break its gates.
So it's going to have co-op as an option right off the bat, which that was something they added to Ritual of the Night later on. But it's good that they're going to have that right off the bat this time.
Test the limits of your courage.
Of course, you can still play solo as well. No big deal there.
Beyond your darkest imaginings. Beasts that defy reason.
Definitely a pretty decent bump up in the visual quality, I would say. You know, which would make sense because this is being put out for the new consoles. This isn't going to be the old shit. Not like a huge difference, but, you know, it's definitely a noticeable difference. You know, very good anime-esque art style that they've got going on, of course. Seems like they're showing a lot of focus on the combat. I think that's going to be one of the emphases of this game, is that the combat is going to be more intricate. Clearly, there is going to be either some way to change character classes or whatever, because they showed all those different character stylings for the same character. Or maybe it's just showing all the different equipment you can possibly equip if it's not really a class type game. Not really sure, but that's going to be fantastic. That's supposed to come out this year, assuming it doesn't get delayed. After all, the original Bloodstained Ritual of Night, I think, was supposed to have came out back in 2016, and it was, I think, 3 years later that we finally got it, and then they started putting the stuff out. Now, here's another one right here that I'm sure some of you might be aware of. Speedrunners is supposed to be a really nice, up to 4-player competitive style, speedrunning game. And this one looks pretty great, too. Looks like just pure platforming fun. Very fast paced. Got the different things like the little hook or whatever, I guess, that they've got they can swing around with. Pretty cool. Oh, and you can see you can kind of screw your other players over. You can use that on them to pull them back. So this is kind of cool because this is a very competitive style game. You don't really see this a lot in this particular genre. So it's kind of cool that they've got this. I feel like I have played the first Speedrunner game, but it's been so long I don't really remember all that much. But I feel like I have played it before. And then I like the little theme song that they have going on there, kind of a Saturday morning cartoon vibe to it. Now this one I did not expect at all, because although they have had a single 2D game in this particular series, all the other ones have been 3D, and then that singular 2D game was an overhead style game. So this one, when I saw this, and also the fact that we have not had a new game in this series for many years, I'm not counting that stupid MMO type or multiplayer game that Square Enix did that died really quickly. I'm not counting that. I'm talking about like an actual legit game. It's been like 20 plus years, guys. But Legacy of Kain is back, which they're also doing a remaster of Legacy of Kain Defiance, which that's going to be cool, of course. But this is the new game here, Legacy of Kain Ascendance. And it looks absolutely great. Beautiful 2D pixel art. You know, you're going to have like the different abilities, of course. You know, being able to draw the blood from the enemies to heal yourself and all that good stuff.
You have done well, Valkyrie.
Pretty cool animated cutscenes that they've got here. Absolutely just love that pixel art. And then, of course, they're showing you could play Raziel also. Fans of Soul Reaver know him very well. So that is, of course, a lot of great stuff to look forward to. But the last one, I saved the best for last. This one right here. This one is a definitive day one for me right here. And the reason being is, well, one, it is a franchise hitting its 40th anniversary, guys. Two, it is made by the developers of one of my all-time favorite indie roguelike games, that, of course, being Dead Cells. Guys, this right here, Castlevania, Belmont's Curse. Konami is back, baby. Check this shit out. This is amazing, absolutely. 40th anniversary, 40 years of Castlevania. Holy moly.
In the name of His Most Royal Majesty.
Oh,
By
yeah.
the grace of God, the King of France.
Absolutely stunning visual style. Reminds me a lot of the Castlevania series on Netflix. I'm sure that is the inspiration for that, of course. Combat looks fast, fun, fast-paced. As expected, because like I said, it's the same developers that made Dead Cells, which this honestly looks even more fluid than that game did. Maybe because it has a bit of a cleaner art style in that game. That game was a little more pixelated looking. Yeah, just absolutely clean. This one's going to be a Metroidvania style, it looks like, because I showed the little map screen. Really cool contrast. The environments look amazing.
So now, we appeal
I'm telling
to
you. I mean, 2025, of course, was great. We did have Hollow Knight, Silk Song. We had the Rogue Prince of Persia, as well as Prince of Persia, Lost Crown, which those games not selling well is probably why, Sands of Time remake, which I'll post a card up there, got canceled if you want to check that video out and hear my thoughts rambling on about this. But, man, 2026, if you're into 2D games, this is going to be the year for you guys. Like, for real, there's no shortage. And that's just a sample of the stuff that I've covered. There's probably all kinds of games that I missed out on that may have already came out. A whole bunch more that we're going to see later on in the year as well. And, there's going to be no shortage of it. And I think there's a pretty good reason why this is happening. I think it's because these game studios, they've seen how crazy these development budgets are. And then I think, at least in the case of Sony, for example, they're probably like, how can we cash in on God of War, which is one of our biggest series, especially considering that Santa Monica, which is making this remake, is probably going to take several years to actually put that out, and make some easy money and then please the fans at the same time. And then they hit up Mega Cat Studios, who is a small indie studio, probably pretty low budget, probably not a huge development cost. I'd be honestly surprised if it was more than 7 digits for the entire development budget of the game. It probably isn't even that much, honestly, because Mega Cat is a pretty small studio. I don't think there's a lot of people that work there, but it's good stuff, guys. Easy money. People love these kind of games. You can always go back and enjoy 2D platforming games. That's why they still make them today, even though by all accounts, if you were to ask people in 1996 when they saw Mario 64, like, hey, would you want to play this 2D platformer? They'll probably tell you, hell no, man, this is the future. And then those same people are playing these 2D platformers today. Because, let's be real. When something's good, it's good. It's timeless. 2026 is the year of the 2D game. Thank you very much for watching. If you happen to enjoy this video, please be sure to check out the most recent video I did. And on the other corner, the algorithm's going to recommend something fire to you. And don't forget to please subscribe. It's how you can help small channels like mine. That's going to be the last line.